Welcome back to Existential Evidence, Homicide Files, where we explore the darkest truths and most disturbing stories from the world of true crime. Today, we're diving into a chilling case that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about family, trust, and manipulation. This is the story of Sabrina Zunich, an 18-year-old foster child whose life was torn apart by secrets, lies, and a shocking betrayal by the very people meant to protect her. In this episode, we'll unravel how Sabrina, searching desperately for love and stability, fell under the spell of a man who would exploit her vulnerability in the worst possible way. Prepare yourselves, because this story exposes the terrifying power of manipulation, and how even the people closest to us can sometimes be the most dangerous. If you're ready to confront the unsettling truth behind Sabrina's brutal crime, stay tuned and dive into the depths of existential evidence. Homicide Files. It was a cold, God-forsaken night when the call came in. The voice on the other end sounded frantic, trembling, barely able to form words.
911 was an emergency. You need to get off the radio, Julius. What's going on? Who had the knife?
My sister, and I just woke up because I was young.
518 Chagrin Drive. I need units bed. 2518 Chagrin Drive. I have a female yelling on the phone. Someone else has a knife. Okay, this is your sister?
Yeah, and she's doing my mom with a knife.
She's doing what to your mom with the knife? You need to take a deep breath for me so I can understand you.
No, I did. I'm going to tell you. My mom did it.
2518 Chagrin. I'm going to try and look up a history. What, does your sister still have the knife?
Yeah.
And what is going on there?
I don't know. I just woke up.
Okay, who am I talking to now?
Her daughter.
Okay, and what's going on there? Who has the knife?
My sister.
Okay, does she still have
Hey,
it?
Mom? You okay? What happened?
What's going on? Hold on. You're going to have to take a deep breath. I cannot understand you. Why is your mom going to die? What happened?
I don't know.
Is someone hurt?
She's stabbing my mom.
She stabbed your mom?
Yeah.
Please, 2518 Chagrin Drive. I have a female with stab wounds. Attention. Ambulance is needed. 2518 Chagrin Drive for a female with stab wounds. Closing holds fire. Clear at 118. Is she breathing at all? Yeah, she can get her. Where's your sister at? Sounds like she's still in the house. All I got was the sister has a knife. Where is your sister? Where is your sister? Well, I got everyone looking behind. Where is your sister?
Her sister, Sabrina, was clutching a long 12-inch bread knife, slick and dripping with blood. The responders could hear the terror, but no one was ready for the carnage they'd soon witness. When they arrived, Sabrina Zunich was standing in the middle of the kitchen, drenched in blood, her eyes glazed over, trapped in some twisted fog. She wasn't scared, she wasn't crying, she was just gone. The officers shouted for her to drop the knife, snapping her out of whatever twisted trance she was in. As the blade clattered to the floor, they tackled her, pinning her down against the blood-stained linoleum. Sabrina, just 18 years old, had stabbed her foster mother, Lisa Knuffel, to death. It was brutal, almost animalistic, a young girl unleashing years of buried rage. But what could drive a kid to that level of savagery? To answer that, you have to dig deep into the rotten roots of Sabrina's past. She'd never had a real home, shuffled through the foster system like a piece of property nobody wanted. Every new house, every new family, just felt like more fake promises. But then she landed with the Knofels, Lisa the mother, Kevin the father, and maybe, for once, she thought she'd found some kind of messed up version of love. But beneath that facade, there was a ticking time bomb. In the interrogation room, Sabrina sat blank-faced, mumbling half-hearted answers to the detective's questions. But her silence spoke volumes. She was trying to piece it together herself, as if the fog hadn't lifted. But the detectives knew there was something else, a darker shadow lurking behind this brutal killing, something that went beyond Sabrina's broken past. And they were right. When the detectives dug through Sabrina's phone, they found the smoking gun, over 1,000 text messages with her foster father, Kevin. And these weren't just regular messages. They were the kind of sick, twisted words that no young girl should ever receive from a man she was supposed to trust. Kevin had been feeding her lies, promises, manipulating her like she was his own damn puppet. Kevin Knofel, a middle-aged truck driver with a wife and daughter, had somehow turned himself into both father and lover in Sabrina's eyes. He knew she was fragile, that she craved something solid to hold on to. He offered her stability with one hand and poison with the other. He started with comforting touches, asking her for massages, luring her into his sick web little by little, turning innocent gestures into something filthy. He warped her view of reality, feeding her twisted promises of a future together, whispering poison into her ear when no one else was around. Finally, Sabrina spilled it all. Kevin had manipulated her, convinced her that if Lisa were out of the picture, they could be together. She'd be free from her past, free from pain. All she had to do was kill. He even had her convinced that if she got caught, she'd only serve a couple of years. He assured her that he'd wait for her, that he'd keep her safe, that they'd build a new life, a grotesque fantasy that she believed, all because she was desperate for someone to give a damn about her. Kevin wanted his wife gone for 2 reasons: cash and control. Divorce wasn't an option. He couldn't risk splitting custody of his young daughter, Haley, or losing the life insurance payout. To him, murder was the cleaner, easier answer. And he used Sabrina like a weapon, knowing full well she was damaged enough to be manipulated. He broke her down and built her back up, warping her, shaping her, until she became his obedient little killer. The jury barely took 2 days to make their decision. Sabrina was guilty. And with her confession, Kevin's twisted scheme was dragged into the light.
After a deliberation period that they felt was sufficient to reach a just and adequate verdict, they returned a verdict. Guilty of all counts. 2 counts of conspiracy, 3 counts of conspiracy to commit aggravated murder, 2 counts of complicity to commit aggravated murder, and 6 counts of sexual battery. That verdict was returned with what they felt was proof beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Knofel was guilty and he was involved in the aggravated murder of Lisa Knofel and the sexual battery of Sabrina Zunich. Mr. Knofel, I have to tell you that I have great difficulty in this case. I realize that throughout this process, as your attorney has indicated, you have done nothing wrong. Your attorney has indicated that, has championed that cause for you. The jury listened to that, but the jury did not agree. The jury's verdict indicates that they believed that this murder would not have happened without your involvement, without your encouragement, without your actions, without your directions. Clearly, the sexual offenses would not have occurred in the jury's mind without your involvement, your actions, your direction, and your participation. As such, you stand before me convicted of 11 offenses, 5 of them dealing with the murder of Lisa Knofel, 6 of them dealing with the sexual battery of Sabrina Zunich. Therefore, the court has no choice in this matter but to begin sentencing. The record needs to reflect that the court has considered the overriding purposes and principles of felony sentencing set forth in 292911 and 292912. Those being to protect the public from future crime by the defendant and others, and to punish the defendant, using the minimum sanctions that the court determines accomplish this purpose without imposing an unnecessary burden on state or local government resources. In determining the most effective way to comply with those purposes and principles, this court has considered all the relevant factors.
He was the true puppet master, the real monster hiding behind his innocent family man facade. Both Sabrina and Kevin would go down for this. 2 lives destroyed, a family shattered, a child's innocence twisted into something deadly. Sabrina's need for love led her straight into the jaws of a predator who tore her apart, piece by piece, until she was nothing but a weapon in his hands. This case exposes a brutal truth about human nature. A young girl's desperation for love was exploited by a man with no moral boundaries, no shred of conscience. This was more than murder. It was manipulation at its darkest. Once again, we're reminded that the shadows we carry can consume us, twisting us until the line between victim and monster blurs beyond recognition. Thank you for watching today's episode of Existential Evidence, Homicide Files. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us into the darkest corners of true crime. Until next time, remember, trust can be a weapon in the wrong hands. And sometimes, the people we let closest are the ones who do the most damage.